Hello, everybody. Welcome to this latest edition of Storm Talk on the video blog. And looks like we may have, I would say, a month and a half of Storm Talk before we switch over to Snow Talk for the new season ahead. It's not that far away. It really isn't. Fall weather. I mean, it's a warm day. We had 80 degrees, actually 81 here in Louisville, but still was a nice, gentle reminder that something's about to happen. Change is about to happen, and we're going to see that in a very small dose with the current pattern. Brett, as we into next weekend, you're really are going to get excited if you're into fall weather, and I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of pot of chili that's going to be made coming up for next weekend. All right, let's break down, though, between now and then, what is going to evolve. And as always the case, we start you off with the current scenario. Radar, we've had very little cloud cover around the region today. And temperatures now, as of the 9 o'clock hour, now in the lower 70s, northeast wind, a little bit of a coolness to the air, certainly. It's very dry air at play. As we broaden the view out, you'll be able to see that the cold front that came through over the past 24 hours didn't give us much rain at all. That was the fear, as the timing was everything on that, and the timing worked out to escape us with rainfall. But it did help out for our friends to the south. That is where the front is now beginning to stall. That is important because there are signs that this front will eventually weaken enough and become a dying cold front in a very tropical environment. And usually we see, Usually we see a tropical system develop in that kind of a scenario, and that is certainly possible in the next week. We could have a tropical system, would not come inland at all. It would actually head out to sea. But nevertheless, that is something, though, Hurricane Center will be watching carefully. For us, look at the absence of cloud cover. Go all the way back through Evansville, St. Louis, Kansas City, entering Denver Metropolitan Airport, and finally get into some clouds. I mean, it's just a very dry atmosphere, very cool atmosphere, and we'll take it. And it's going to stick with us for at least a day or two. The problem we're going to have in the coming days is an area of low pressure, or actually high pressure, is going to develop here. It is now currently protecting the area from any type of heat, allowing for the clear skies. High pressure has sinking air, so that's why the clouds can't get going at all. But that high is going to move slowly to the east as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. As it does so, because it has a counterclockwise flow, that means when it gets to our east, the flow then becomes off the Gulf of Mexico, and we get more humid and warmer weather. Some of the models are saying we could hit 90 again this week in this kind of a setup. I'm not really jumping on that idea. I think we'll get close in a few spots, upper 80s, but anything above that, I just really am not too impressed with. But nevertheless, it is going to feel more summer-like Tuesday and Wednesday back into the Ohio Valley net southerly flow. But it will not last long because we have a strong front, and it is now going to be gathering strength in the Plain States as we head into Wednesday, and it's going to aim itself right into Kentucky. And as it does so, yes, there is going to be a band of showers with it, but just like the last front, it is going to arrive at night, Wednesday night, so it'll be strong storms in this area, and then they'll weaken as they get to our backyards, say around midnight to 4 a.m. Thursday morning, and then by Thursday afternoon, it's off to the south, and it'll redevelop into thunderstorms in this area. So Louisville will fit perfectly in the nighttime portion of the passage of the front, to where only we're going to get is just a band of showers, not much thunder. Because the way the front is going to slow down in East Kentucky, we may get the clouds get stuck on us for a while Thursday. So I've gone pretty cloudy Thursday and cool weather right off the bat. So it may take until Friday to get the bright blue sky back into the area. But nevertheless, it's coming. And this is going to be a cool air mass that's going to stick around for some time. I mean, it's going to be a cool flow over a good chunk of the country for about a 5 to 6 day period, the way it's looking. Show you the models. In the short term, overnight tonight, we're going to drop down into the lower 60s, upper 50s here in the city, but noticed a few areas seeing some low 50s showing up. So, like Salem, Seymour, they're farting. I wouldn't rule it out. Otherwise, as we head down the road here, temperatures tomorrow will top back out into the upper 70s to very close to 80. I think in the Louisville is always the case. The heat out effect will across 80 degrees, probably about 81, 82. Very similar to today, but another day of beautiful weather in store for us. Now, as we head down the road, here's the setup. We're going to be watching that front moving in from the northwest. I mentioned we'll have a south flow here Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's going to be a warmer time period, but it looks dry. And then here comes that front band of showers. Now, this is as far as the model can see right now that we're using. But even at 11 o'clock at night, the main portion of the band of showers and storms is not even to us yet. So, again, I think it's going to be late night You probably will be sleeping, in fact, as it moves through. And by Thursday morning, some showers probably will line themselves in a fashion just like this. So Kentucky may have some showers for the morning commute. And then by the time we head into mid-morning, afternoon, that front will be to the south, but the clouds may lag a little bit into Thursday. All right, so that's how rain looks. Let's talk about the temperature pattern. Now, what I'm going to do here, a couple things I want to point out. This is the polar vortex that you hear so much about. Not these little areas that come down every now and then. And we had one that dipped down over the 4th of July, and everybody said, oh, it's a polar vortex. Oh, no. It was not the polar vortex. This is the polar vortex up here to the north. And what there is, it breaks off in chunks. It kind of, as it spins around, it throws off little pieces to it. And they kind of rotate around it in lower latitudes. And every now and then, one of those can dip down into the United States. But the core, the polar vortex, is way up here. So watch as I animate this. It just keeps spinning. See how it'll spin again. Everything just keeps rotating around. And every now and then we get little warm spells that try to work their way in. But overall, these little dips that are breaking off are becoming more frequent. And that is why I think we're going to get stuck into a cool pattern that may get stuck in place all the way through at least the middle of the month before we really get a chance to warm things up. All the heat looks to be locked in back here in the southwest. And here in Kentucky, we're just going to get one of these little chunks. It's going to keep on diving down every now and then. So that is how the longer term is looking. So I've trended the 14-day outlook in that fashion. Warm for the next few days. You see the front comes in Wednesday, so that drops us down Thursday. But again, it could be a cloudy Thursday, but still comfortable in the 70s. Sunshine, 75 on Friday. And sunshine for the weekend with highs only in the 60s. Lows at night in the 40s in several locations for the weekend. And then next week, we may have a day or two in the 80s. It's hard to tell if we're going to get any one of those little bumps upward that may take place during this 15th through the 21st. But overall, I think it's going to be mainly below average temperature-wise, with 70s be more dominant than anything down the road. So what happens after that? Well, as always the case, the models are all over the place. But I will say the European is signifying now that the first part of October could be even cooler than what we're talking about for next weekend. So, interesting pattern. I still have my fall forecast being above average overall for a while, and the weather pattern is changing and may put my forecast in jeopardy. So, we'll see how this plays out. But overall, I do not see 90s showing up, and certainly no heat waves. So, if anything, fall is working its way in and officially arrives on the 22nd of September, and it may arrive right on cue. That's it for right now. Football is on. Colts right now are playing. We'll see you tonight after the game, and then we'll see you again tomorrow here on Wave 3 News.